Randy, Tina, Wesley, Amber, everyone in the studio today because we're only a couple of weeks away from the March fundraising event, Mustache March for PD. How's everyone doing today?
We're great.
Is it warm out there?
I was sweatshirt weather.
I got out this morning and I already started complaining, you know. So this is exciting. March the 22nd is the big fundraising event, and fill me in. How do we kick this interview off? We got a full studio. Where do we start, Tina?
Well, we are right in the thick of things right now. This is like the most fun fundraiser anyone here has ever attended.
Yep.
We keep growing. We began in 2017, and we missed 1 year. I wonder why. Yeah, they wouldn't let us gather 500 people, so we had to cancel that year. But we made up for it the next year, and so we're just looking for sponsors. We're selling tickets. Tickets go fast. I'll put that out there right
yes,
away.
They do.
Tickets go fast. It's become very popular in all the police departments. And you know, if you want to attend, now's the time to get your ticket. And if you want to sponsor, this is also now the time to sponsor.
Absolutely. And if you go to mustachemarch4pd.com, you will see all the information about the impact that you guys bring too. And that's what I think's great, is to see the overall growth and just seeing the news articles about, you know, different departments being able to afford different material, whether or not it's the K9 or, you know, some of the different equipment that's in the office. I mean, that's invaluable for these departments.
Absolutely, it is. We started, like I said, in 2017, and the goal was to maybe make $25,000. Well, we exceeded that by $26,000. So we were excited. But then it gets better. The next year, then we raised $50,000, and we've kind of been on that trend since then.
Wow.
And we hope to add even more money, because we started with 13 police departments. We now have 15 police departments, and we really want to add one more next year. So we really need the support from the communities.
And that's where we all come into play. And anyone that's ever watched or followed along social media or even been a part of the event knows just how impactful this group is. And really, you know, let's break it down, because there's so many times that, you know, the years always wrap up and the days kind of run into each other and we forget. But over the last year, what were you guys able to do as an organization for some of the surrounding police departments? Because I've already mentioned a few, but there's still a ton more out there.
Well, one of our main goals last year is we created a Be Like Blake Award, and I don't want to get too far off that, but it is in memory of Blake Snyder, who happens to be Peggy's son and Wes's best friend. So we took it from there and sent out a message to all the police departments asking them to give us a name of someone who they think was deserving of a trip to Washington, D.C. for National Police Week. And we let Wes go, too.
And we talked about this, Wesley.
Oh, yes.
This was a pretty powerful...
Yeah, I mean, and Peggy will agree. You can't explain Police Week to anybody, like, it just, until you're there.
Yeah.
But being able to take, you know, 10, 12 officers like we did last year and see the old grizzle vets that have been officers for 20, 25 years kind of get reignited, because they feel appreciated. And in most cases they don't. I mean, I talked to he was a SWAT team member of the New York City Police Department, kind of explained our group and what we did, and he was so moved by a group that goes out of their way to appreciate the police that he called other officers over, be like, hey, listen to this. And then every single one of them, man, I wish our community had something like this. And so that for me was like, yeah, we're doing the right thing. No, we got to keep this going, keep the momentum, and
That's just incredible. I mean, it's really incredible. And what I think's wonderful, too, is the fact that it seems like the public really does, you know, get behind you guys. Whenever I see a post out there, I go, man, I wish I could have that following, you know, then I'd be in good shape. But, you know, as a group, as we're preparing for this, $25 pre-sale or at the door, but probably aren't going to get them at the door, right? Because of how quick they go.
We don't like to turn anyone away, But there is a limit to how many we
The
can.
fire marshal will get a little angry.
Possibly,
And now take me through the event itself, because I heard there's a pretty okay band that's going to be out there playing.
We like to refer to them as
The world famous Glendale Riders.
There you go.
right.
They're
And
wonderful.
they do bring in a lot
They're
of our
awesome.
people. It is quite fun night just having them there. So
And what else is happening throughout the event? Fill me in.
we really just try to have a night of fun for the police officers because they do get to mingle. They get to talk with each other. We usually begin our event with an honor guard. We'll have Chaplain Gibson from Jerseyville giving us a prayer in the beginning. And speaking of, we also have the Gibson sisters coming.
they're wonderful.
Just to sing a few of their medleys, too. We'll do a 50-50 raffle, which is always very successful. And we make sure that other person takes home the rest of the
Oh, they can't give it back?
They cannot give it back. No give backs. And we also we do a couple gun raffles as well.
Oh, really
but other
cool.
than that,
And now take me through the meaning of the mustache, too. I wanted to get on, make sure we got that point across, too, because that is a pretty big component of
Well, years ago, 2016, 2017, when my good friend Steve Schwagel called me up and said, hey, I have this great idea. And if you know Steve, you know when he says that, it's going to be our great idea, and he does have great ideas.
Yes,
we
he
love
does.
Steve.
He's a great guy.
Yes, he is. And so he came across this mustache march. He knew that the Alton police officers during the month of December get to grow a mustache and have kind of a contest. And he said, how about we have this event in March to raise money? And at the time, well, I guess 2014 was the beginning of the disconnect, I like to call it. The disconnect between the police officers and the community.
Right, 100%.
Everyone used to love the police officers, which we all still do, and a lot of people do.
Right.
But at the time, there was a disconnect. He's like, how can we get that disconnect, go away? By supporting our police officers, handing out basketballs to kids, having events like this to raise money for the police departments. And then, so we got together and decided to have a mustache contest, which was very successful as well. A lot of the police officers, family, friends grew mustaches. So at the event, we will actually have a contest still.
That's what I was wondering. All right.
Absolutely.
I got mine
Absolutely.
going.
Oh, I see that. So there will be prizes, but yes, that's kind of where it just began, just to give us a title and a name.
Wonderful. And then why won't we do this before we take a quick break? Because we're still talking. We aren't going anywhere.
Thank
I got to talk all thing Mustache March for PD. I got to ask everyone in the room what this event means to you personally. And let's start. I haven't talked to Amber yet back there. Amber, how are we doing back there?
I'm good.
What's the organization mean to you? But specifically this event, what's it mean to you also? Both parts.
It means actually quite a bit. I was so happy to be able to join last year because my husband is a lieutenant with the Madison County Police Department. So, having him in that field and seeing everything that goes on and the things that he deals with. We went to the event every year when it started. Of course, missed COVID. But last year, the year before, I actually walked up to Tina and said, what can I do to help? How can I be a part of this organization?
Gives me chills
and help
just
the
hearing
immigrants?
that.
Because it means a lot to me. It means a lot to our family, and a lot of our friends, are also police officers.
Yeah.
They're in different departments, and just to see what this organization has done so far over the years and what we can continue to do means the world.
Absolutely. And Mandy, what are your thoughts?
Well, let's see. I knew Blake like his entire life through soccer, and I knew Peggy, and that was a really big kind of shock to all of us. And I do what I can. I've always supported anything to do with these ladies and gentlemen. I've been to all the events every year. And this year, my buddy Kim Lawrence and I, we're always like trying to help. And we said, hey, can we please join?
Yes, you may.
Yes, you may.
And I was telling Wes earlier, this is just opened my eyes about how much support this organization does for all the police departments.
100% over. And that's why, just going through the year, it's so hard. I always try to save them because you forget so much of the year and you don't realize the impact that you guys have really each and every month. There's something new that's being either given or there's some type of news coming out of the organization, and that's what I think
All
makes
of
it so. Wow, here we go.
They need to be recognized, all of our departments.
Absolutely. Let's do that real quick and we'll continue. Alton Police Department, Bethalto, Brighton Police Department, Bunker Hill Police, East Alton Police, Granite Police, Hamel Police, Hartford Police, let me take a breath, Jerseyville Police, Jersey County Sheriff, Madison County Sheriff, the Pontoon Beach Police, South Roxana Police, the Roxana Police, and the Wood River Police. Oh my goodness. And you're looking to add one more?
One more.
At least one more.
At least one more.
I'm kind of starting to use
Yeah.
my context clues here and thinking about who we need to add in.
Yeah. I mean, as long as the funds keep coming in, we want to keep, and it's, if I can interject, it stays in this area.
Yeah.
Not the Riverbender area
Yeah.
is where we like to say it stays in this area.
100%, and that's
Yes.
really important to know. It really does go right back here. It's right
Right.
here local. You support local, you give local, and that's what I love about the group too. And Peggy, what are your thoughts about the group and the event as a whole?
Well, it's kind of bittersweet.
Absolutely.
I think it's, and as Tina often says, and you often think about it, for so many times people want to support the police, but they're kind of like that silent majority.
Yeah.
And I think that since we lost Blake and seeing what the outpouring of support was, after his death, it really opened my eyes that we can no longer be a silent
Yeah.
majority. And I think that being proactive is such a positive thing because, I often think, how many people in the community have really visited the police department?
Yeah.
They don't want to because they think that it's the bad place. But I think that it's very important for people to visit to see where they live, what environment they live in, and so I try to be very active over here and very active in the county, in St. Louis County, and you walk into some of the police departments and it's just like a little cubby hole.
Yeah.
They don't have a kitchen. They don't have, the things that they need that so many professions have, like gorgeous environments.
Right.
And that's where they spend the majority of their life, either out on the streets or, in this environment. And I kind of like to look at it too, that we're not just supporting the police, but if you make a donation, what you're really doing is saying, I want the police department to be better for me and my family.
Yeah.
Because Blake always was always against drunk drivers. And if we can do something like, if the police can have the equipment and have the ability to pull over one drunk driver, well, that might be saving my husband's life.
Right.
Or to pull over 2 drunk drivers, that might be saving my husband and my son's life. Or if they can pull over 6 drunk drivers, that's saving my family's life.
Right.
So I like to also, when I'm trying to talk to people, to say, this is an investment in your police department, but it really comes back to you.
It does.
100%.
Absolutely.
What do you want in your community to make your life safer and to make your community better on a very positive aspect?
100%. And Wesley, as we keep the question going, what are your thoughts?
I could go on for days.
Same.
They've all said pretty much what I've been thinking, but for me, the police officers daily, they're seeing the worst of the worst, the situations that none of us can even fathom having to be a part of. So showing them that there is a community out there that, hey, we support you, we want you to come home safe, not everybody's against you, and giving them a night to where they can come and to be themselves, because they don't get that opportunity too often.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, I like
That, seeing them enjoy themselves, I think that's one big thing. But, seeing our committee grow from,
10
10 to 25.
That's incredible.
And we don't go and ask people; they ask us.
That's a good problem to have too.
That is a good problem. So,
So anything we can do to help those guys and the women that have to deal with the crazy on the daily is
Absolutely.
Right.
That's what it is for me.
100%. Why don't we do this? I got to pay one last bill of the week. It's 10:51. Let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and we'll wrap up the show with this conversation right after this on Get Over Here, RiverBender.com.
Since 1993, Sparks Junk Removal is always adapting to the needs of our clients. That is why we now offer weekly trash pickup for selected areas. Plus, we offer driveway-safe rubber-tired dumpster rental. Give us a call today at 618-781-1407 or visit us at sparksjunkremoval.net.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Not sure if you've noticed, but those advertised prices from the other dealers are just a bunch of blah, blah, blah. At Roberts Motors, the advertised price is the price you pay. And that, my friend, is great news for you. Don't fall for their so-called incentives that will leave you banging your head against the wall. Go with Roberts Motors. Prices you can trust and people you will like. That's the Roberts Motors way. And trust me, it's the way to go.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
RiverBender Radio has built 3 great new stations just for you in the Riverbend. The Eagle, the Riverbend's classic rock station. The Bridge, hit music for the Riverbend. And The River, today's country, and all your favorites. Check them out today at RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to our daily show. Here's CJ.
Look around your world.
Sorry, 10:54. Welcome back.
Everything you hoped it'd be.
Our conversation continues. Mustache March for PD and the big event coming up on March the 22nd. It's a Friday at Bluff City Grill. That's a great venue for a nice event. I mean, it really is just a nice place.
Yes, Kathy.
Can't thank Kathy enough for what
Kathy
she
does a great
for us.
job. Yes, she does.
Absolutely. And as we continue our conversation, you know, I wanted to, big thing, let's talk about how we can support this. Because we got to get some supporters out there so we can keep growing and keep doing some amazing things to help. How many departments? 15?
15. Want to add more.
And we can do it. And how can we support?
There's different levels, of course, of sponsorships. We have that's what our committee is formed, and when they come on board, that's one of the first things I tell them, you know, it's not just to come to our fun event. You're going to be knocking on doors saying, you know how you say you support the law enforcement? Well, this is how you can support the law enforcement. As I was driving here, our friends down at Freer have on their sign, we support law enforcement. Guess what? They do.
Yes, they do.
They gave us a check not too long ago. So stand behind that. When you say, oh, I back the blue, I support the law enforcement, but does that really, you know, yes, we love that you support them, but this is a great way for you to support them.
Well, and this is an actual way to really support, because you can support by saying, you know, all those things, which is wonderful, but actually put the money where the mouth is and really help fund these departments like you guys are doing. I mean, the writing's on the wall with how much impact that you guys have had with so many departments being funded and so many different opportunities. And so where can we sponsor at?
Everything is online. I think you've given the website a couple different times, www.mustachemarch4pd.
Oh, I gotcha.
And again, there's a chief level, a captain level, an officer, and a rookie level. But Peggy and I were talking yesterday, you can make it any level you want.
Yeah.
Please don't let that defer. We have Venmo, we have PayPal. We have apparel that you can buy online. We have great apparel,
you
by
do.
the way.
It looks
just
really
saying.
good.
You
This
really,
year's cool stuff.
This
Yeah.
year's are good.
really great, geared to everyone. We have kids apparel. What better way to put your kid in a support the law enforcement by sending them to daycare and wearing their t-shirt. And I know that because a lot of these schools have law enforcement day, and sometimes you don't know what to come up with. Well, we have kids apparel online too. We also still offer, we had Be Like Blake shirts last year that were very popular.
Yeah, they were.
So those are online as well. You can go online and give us a $10 donation and just say, I want to support you. We'll give you a car decal to put on your car so you can show everybody around town that you do support the blue.
Absolutely. And folks, all you have to do is go to mustachemarchforpd.com/become a sponsor, and you'll see all of those just for the event. But like you said, there's always opportunities, whether or not it's 15, 20, 5, 10, just something to say, hey, here's something to support you.
Right. And it's just not for businesses.
No.
We have lots of big families in the area, and again, Peggy and I were talking, we always have these great ideas when we talk. Why not gather your family and your friends? Have 10 or 15 of them all donate $100, and guess what? That will support one of the police officers going to Washington, D.C. You could say, here's my $2,000 donation of all my family and friends. I want to send an officer to Washington, D.C.
Well, and talk about such a great way to really do some family bonding in a different way. That's not necessarily really going on a trip or going somewhere, but really just doing some community service as a family. That's always a great thing to do. And, we were talking, and as we are wrapping up the show today, Amber, you made a comment during the break about, if you think an officer outside of this area for their service, they're kind of surprised. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
I mean, we travel every now and again, but just even talking about going to New York and different places where I see a police officer, I thank them for their service. I treat them no differently than I would a veteran or someone in the military, because what they do every day is extremely important. The things they see, the things they deal with. So I thank them every time. And it's amazing how a lot of times you'll go, what? Oh, well, thanks. They seem to be shocked. And I feel like that is my biggest thing. And I push my friends to do it too. Everyone should thank an officer every day.
Well, and following on that too, Peggy, we were talking a couple of minutes during the break as well about the work that you and your husband, you're talking to officers from all over. What are some of the conversations that you have with them in regards to, what our area does for its law enforcement to what maybe they experience in their respective neighborhoods?
I think just like becoming involved in the community, and I guess what I like to do, and Dick talks more to officers across the nation online, but what I like to do, it's like try to make people realize to humanize the badge.
Yeah.
Their moms, their dads, they have children, they rake the yard, they mow the yard, they take out the garbage,
They have the same problems we do.
They have the same problems every day. And, I think that if you don't put it into that context, people think that they're always in their uniform, which they are so many times. But I guess I want people to get to know your officers. Do you know who patrols your neighborhood? Do you know their first name? Do you know anything about them? Do you go down to the precinct? Do you take them snacks? I mean, I don't know how many times that Dick and I have visited different precincts, and it's like, they probably never get to sit down and have a meal when they're on duty. It's usually a grab-and-go snack. How they multitask, to be on a computer, to drive, to, being so aware of everything that they have to do. And, I guess that's just, and how many things that they themselves volunteer in.
Yeah.
I can know that besides their job, they're out supporting the schools, they're out supporting the churches, and a lot of them have secondary jobs.
Right.
Because they cannot somewhat afford in this day and age to support a family, and a large family if they have, a lot of children, with the salary that they're on.
Right.
Which is, to me, really breaks my heart. Yeah. Because to think that there are times when they get off of duty and then have to go and work another job, a second hand, a third hand, or even have a business on the side to make ends meet. So, I think that I just want people to say, I just want to say to people, it's like, My son was murdered because he wore a uniform.
Yeah.
And he wore a badge, and he was doing the right thing. Yeah. And we can't let that happen to officers.
Right.
That is not what they signed up for.
One of the visuals that I always think of, not to interrupt, but it takes something like that, or our friend Tyler Timmons, or any of our other locals.
Yeah.
Everyone in the community wants a blue light. And we have lots of blue lights right now.
Yeah.
If any, because we haven't had anybody recently. So there are other ways to support your community besides putting a blue light on your porch, which we still do. A lot of us still do, but a lot of times it fades away and people stop showing their blue lights. So again, we have blue lights if anyone wants to support the police.
And I think the thing is, it's like, this is a big event.
Yes.
It's a once a year thing. But the police departments need our support all year long, 24/7. And so there's always a way that, not just in this event, but if you say, you know what, I really can't afford right now to do anything, for Mustache March at this point. But you know what, in 3 or 4 months, I might be able to give couple of $100.
Right.
You can at that point, because you just roll that in and you bank it for the next event that we're doing to support the police.
And we'll have
Because
more events.
it's not just
Always.
it's not just this event
Right.
that we're doing that support them. There is something
All the time.
all the time that
And we-
sometimes doesn't get the recognition.
One of
like
our
this.
another event is our we do a check presentation where we invite all the chiefs
yes.
to come,
Yes.
which is, Mandy was saying earlier, was her first time this year, and they get to actually receive the check that night when they come. We've had many police officers and chiefs crying because
bet.
they are so
We won't
appreciative.
name names.
We won't name
We're
names.
not gonna put 'em out there.
But they are extremely appreciative of that check that we give them that night.
Yeah.
I wish we could invite everyone to come, but it is a very emotional night because they are so appreciative of our efforts.
Well, and honestly, it's just amazing because what you've been able to do is develop a community that really is rallying around, especially when
Yes.
you guys put a post out or say, hey, here's what we got going on. There's hundreds and thousands of people really that react to it a lot of the times that want to help and support, and we can do that all the time. Now, Mustache March for PD, folks at home, I know we're going a little bit over, but this is always good to talk about, is an official 501c3 non-for-profit. So your contribution is tax deductible, too, at the end of the year, just so I always throw that out because
Perfect.
people always want to hear that
yes.
information. But, really, it's all about a night of just letting the hair down and enjoying a nice Friday night at Bluff City Grill with, I think they're pretty good. The Glendale Riders, the world renowned, are going to be there. And I was just talking, Steve's presentation at the North Alton Godfrey Business Council was wonderful. Oh, just wonderful.
Were there people crying?
Yeah, no.
No.
No, this was about the Glendale Riders playing. It was great. I couldn't stop laughing. But, we talk about this, and it's always good to, be a little jovial. But like you were saying, very poignantly, really just beautifully, is the fact that, we only get serious whenever there's a tragedy. And if we can be proactive throughout the year in ways of just establishing our community's relationship further with law enforcement, whether or not it's Alton, Godfrey, Grafton, Jerseyville, hell, we only live 10 minutes away from North County. There's all these different areas that really do need that type of community involvement. And if we can help support that, I highly encourage you all to do it. And what's the best way for all that is the website?
The website, and we are a big Facebook group recently.
Yeah, you are. You guys are some good Facebook.
Yes,
some good
we are.
Facebook action going on.
We've
here.
got a lot of new followers, so keep on sharing because that's really social media. Has its good, has its bad, but for us, it's how we get things out there. So if you don't know about Mustache March 4 PD, you will if you get on the website or Facebook.
If you don't know about it, please come find me because I got questions to know about what you're doing in your in your free time. Before I leave, I gotta ask this, Peggy. For the record, you had to fill in for my dad one time coaching. I hate to do this, but I gotta do it.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, Greg.
I have to tell the story.
You don't have to tell the full one, but you did have to fill in.
I had the privilege of being close to your dad. Blake actually played soccer under your dad when he was just little, and then all through his high school and college, he played soccer and then actually taught
right?
soccer and then actually coached soccer with your dad. So your dad is an awesome person. Maybe that's how you turned out so great.
I wouldn't bet that. Oh man, I was just going, Peggy.
But we love your family, and Greg was very dear to our hearts.
I was only saying it because I get in trouble for any yellow card or red card I get. So I hope you're watching because I know something that you don't. Is there anything else we need to talk about today to promote? Anything?
Check out our apparel. You're going to really
Get
like
some
our
nice stuff.
apparel.
I really like it. I love the shirts you guys gave me. It really it feels great too. It's not cheap. You know, I hate cheap shirts.
And you know what? It's one way where, you know, when you wear it, people will stop you and ask you,
in airports.
what is this all about?
I've been stopped in the airport before.
Yeah, it's kind of a good way to advertise.
Absolutely. And guys, one last time, Mustache March for PD.com. Everyone, have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, TJ.
And all of you, I'm out of time. I'll see you live on Monday. We got a busy show. Coming up next week, Craig Hentrick will join us. DC Glenn from Tag Team. Whoop, there it is, the Geico commercial, all that fun stuff. And we'll see what other trouble I can cause. But until then, be safe and most importantly, try your best to stay out of jail.